Hi guys, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video. And today is time for a weekend read because I didn't upload anything yesterday because I just got home from Berlin yesterday actually. I went to Berlin on Tuesday and I came home again yesterday evening at around 7:30 when we were at my parents' place. Then they made dinner and I went home after having dinner. I think around 9ish I left. So I was really tired when I got home yesterday. I obviously didn't film anything, and I actually had plans to pre-film something so that I could upload it over the week even though I was away, but I didn't really find time to do that. So I only uploaded one video this week, but I guess that's okay. And my reading this week, since last weekend was okay, I didn't read as much last weekend as I wanted to because I've not really been in a big reading mood. And also on Sunday I had an all-day event that started at around lunchtime, and I wasn't home until around 9 or something. And Monday I spent the majority of the time packing, getting ready for things, all of that. So actually my time the first weekend was pretty busy. But I managed to finish 2 books this week, so that's pretty decent, I think. The first book I finished was Earth Abides by Jon Stewart. This was my first book that I've completed from my Masterworks project, and I'm really excited to have started this now. And this was, the way it was written was very old style. It was definitely easy to tell that this is not a book from this era. The pace was really off. For the most part it was really slow, but then there was sections where it was really fast because it was just briefly telling you about what was happening these years and years into the future, and then having 1 year or something that they explored in one section, and 1 year that they explored in another section, and then another fast one, and then so the pacing was off a lot. And there were some racist comments in this one, but this was written in 1949, so just after the Second World War actually. So there was a different time. But this book follows this man called Ish. Ish is his nickname. I forgot what the full name is, what it's just short for. But how he's looking at the world after everyone, basically. The majority of humans on Earth has died after this pandemic thing. He survived it because he was bitten by a rattlesnake. That's at least what he's thinking. That's the reason for it, because he got poisoned by that rattlesnake, and that made him apparently not die from the other pest that was going on in the world. And then he's just, the first part of it, we're just sort of observing everything, how everything is working out after humanity has basically left, how things are breaking apart, and how animals are taking over at certain parts, and all of that, which was really interesting following. And he's just traveling across the US and back again to see how it's changed. And then he meets this girl called M, and they get married and have children, or maybe it's the other way, they have children, married. They meet some other people as well, and they're forming a clan sort of thing, and then things go on from there, sort of the generations, how it's going on and how they're viewing things. And that's basically what this book is about, and how this civilization is rebuilding itself after what happened. There are some very interesting elements in the story, and I can definitely understand why this is considered a masterwork in some places, but other places were really old. It was little dated in the way it was written, and the pacing was a little off, and it was not completely my sort of book. So I ended up on a 3.5 of this, but I'll talk more about this in a review. I'm considering doing reviews of every masterwork, but there's a lot of masterworks, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be sticking to it, but I'll at least attempt to try and start this. And the other book that I also managed to finish was Traitor's Blade by Sebastian de Castell. I took this with me on my trip to Berlin. Before I went there, I had read about 116 pages or something. So I read about 250 pages on my trip, and I don't want to say this is a quick read for me. but it was a lot of fun. It was very interesting characters. I really enjoyed the characters, and the all of these great codes, their traditions, and how they got their names, different names they got. And there was something about a mysterious tailor, and she was awesome. And then I really enjoyed Aline's character. She was a really big part of this book as well. And obviously, I really like the main three great coats in this one. Falchio, Kest, and Brasti. They were interesting characters, and I can't wait to explore some more, especially about Brasti and Kest in the next coming books maybe. But this one was mostly about Falchio, because we're following his perspective through this whole book and how he was protecting this girl called Aline and all of that, and that was quite amazing. I gave this book 4.5, so I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get into more of these books in the future. So yeah, those were the books that I finished this week, and I have a couple of books that I'm working on. I am working on The Dispossessed by Ursula Le Guin. I'm buddy reading this with Rhea, but I haven't been reading at all from this book since I went to Germany. But I did manage to read something last weekend, and I'm on page 117 of this book, and hopefully I will get a good chunk into this weekend. It was really easy to read when I started it, and I really enjoy the writing style, and I'm very curious about this book, where the stories will go. So definitely very intrigued to find out more about this book. And I'm also still working on Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Still, I'm on page 395 of this. I haven't read on in this at all this week, but I'm hoping maybe over this weekend I'll pick it up again. I'm not sure if Michael has read anything in this one this week. We're buddy reading this, but I think we're both a little stuck. I think it's because it's not as gripping as his other books that we've read, but I also know that it won't take long before, I know, Brandon Sanderson will pull some twists, and the endings are always really quick to get through. And I only have about 250 pages, I want to say, I have left. I'm pretty sure that sometime during the next 100 pages some major thing will happen and things will speed up. That's usually what happens. But usually I'm still pretty gripped with the story overall by this point, and it's not really the same case with this one, but I'm hoping that the ending will make up some part of this, how now I've been spending so much time on this book. The final two things I'm working on currently is, one, I am close to finishing. I have about 2 hours left on double speed of White Witch Black Curse by Kim Harrison. This is the 7th book in the Hollow series, which I've been reading sort of on and off since, I want to say I started in 2014, I think, and I really am enjoying it. It's a lot of fun, but I'm not as into these books as I was in books 3, 4, and 5, and I think there was a major thing happening in book 5 that I was not agreeing very much with, and that's still affecting how I'm viewing these books, but I hope that something will happen soon that will make me change my mind about it. It's still a really fun read. A lot of things are happening, so I'm still pretty happy about that. The final thing I'm working on as well is The Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. I started this yesterday on my drive home from Berlin. I've only read the first 3 chapters, so I'm only about 25% through it. It's a pretty short book, so hopefully I'll manage to finish it soon. It's a library overdrive book that I have, so that's why I've started it, because I think it's due in about a week or so. So I wanted to get on that and not end up having the whole book to read in one day. So yeah, these are the books I'm working on at the moment. I had a lot of fun this week. I didn't have a lot of time to read while I was on vacation. It was mostly on the drive to and from Berlin that I've been reading a lot, and even then I wasn't reading that fast, because I was also distracted if times when something happened in the traffic I wanted to see it and if we saw some things in the, like, I can't fully concentrate on only reading when I'm driving, even though it was 8 hours, so that was a lot of sitting around. But I definitely did enjoy what I read while I was away, and that was exciting. And while I also managed to sneak in half an hour of reading every morning before I had to go down for breakfast, so that was good. But I definitely thought I might have read more. I thought I would have read more, but it was okay. I had a lot of fun when I was away. But yeah, when I'm always excited about big city trips. I enjoy it a lot more. I'm not very good at those where you just go to a hotel at the beach and just stay there for the whole week. I get very restless if I don't get out and see things, explore things and stuff. So big city trips are something I'm always excited about, but then after a couple of days I'm also really looking forward to getting back home, because I realize how happy I am to live in a city that is the size that I'm living in, where there's only like 40,000 citizens, so it's quieter, it's low-key, but still convenient when it comes to stores and stuff. I'm super happy I've been to Berlin now. It's a city very big on historical events, and it's very it has so much history, and you can still tell all of the historical events that's happened, because some of them they've just let be the way they were when things were happening, so that you can tell that this was a crucial time in the city. And I mean, there was bombed church where there's only the tower, half of the tower. The actual spire of the tower is ruined, and the only thing that's left standing is actually part of this tower, and all of the other parts of the church has disappeared, and that was quite amazing to see. And it's very beautiful inside and up in the ceiling of the church that were left. So that was interesting to see. And we also went to see the Olympic Stadium, and that was also an interesting experience. It was built back in 1936 when Hitler was the ruler, and there was a lot of things that were said about when he was in his pride of time, if you want to say that. And there was a video going on at the Olympic Stadium that we saw, and they were talking about how the Olympic events, how he was sitting in this Führer box where with all of the other big Nazi people, and how he was really enjoying the sports event, and how Germany got so many gold medals and stuff in different categories. But then he started watching some athletics and the running, and how all of the Americans were black people who won this, and he didn't like that. And so it was interesting seeing these historical events being showed in this way. And we also went to see a museum about the DDR when it was divided between Western and Eastern Germany, and how they were just closed in that country, couldn't get out anywhere. Yeah, it really had a lot of a great experience being in Berlin, seeing all of these events, and with a city that has so much history, I think it's important. It definitely got me to rethink events, and I kind of want to explore some more into this time after the war in Germany, when it was divided into Eastern and Western Germany, because I don't actually have a big knowledge about that, except the fact that they were divided, and the Eastern Germans weren't able to cross the wall that divided the two parts of Germany, and the only way they could go to Russia if they wanted to. They could go the other way, but they couldn't get to their whatever relatives they might have had in the western part of Germany. And that was interesting to see. And we did see some parts of the wall that are still standing in Berlin. There's not a lot of sections any longer, but that was interesting as well. And yeah, apart from that, we also saw all of the sights and stuff, and that was fun. We wanted to go to the Brandenburger Tor, the biggest site in Berlin, the most famous one. We wanted to go there the first evening. We actually walked out there from our hotel. We were staying just up against Alexanderplatz. It's really one of the bigger, well-known areas in Berlin as well, in the eastern part of Berlin. it has the World Watch on that square, and there's also the TV tower in Berlin there, where you can see, if you go up there, you can see the whole city basically, almost. Yeah, but we walked there to Brandenburger Tor, and then we got there, and there were police everywhere, all over the place. They had put barricades up, so we couldn't get into the Brandenburger Tor, the square there, and we walked around just to see if we could see what would happen. We asked some of the police what was going on, because we couldn't understand it, and they said they didn't know, but the thing is, they wouldn't have told us if they knew either. What I think it is about, it was that the Chinese emperor went to visit Berlin. He arrived that exact day, and I think that is the reason why it was all barricaded and no one could get in, because the next day at the zoo, they just got some pandas at the zoo, and we went to the zoo, and half of the zoo was actually closed off. We couldn't see the majority of the animals there, so. And we decided that was because the Chinese emperor was there. Definitely this has been an eventful week. Let me know in the comments down below what you've been reading, if you've read anything exciting, if any exciting plans about what you're going to be reading over this next week. Definitely let me know about that as well. And yeah, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye!